Out comes through. I see the blue above it, and day by day the pathway smooths. Since I learned to love it, no storm can shake my inmost heart. While to that rock I'm clinging, since love is Lord of heaven and earth, how can I keep from singing? How can I keep from singing? Thank you very much, and welcome to Unity of Bon Air on a beautiful Sunday morning. We're so glad that you're here. A quick reminder, if you have a cell phone with you, you might want to put that on silence or vibrate, whatever you call it. And without any other announcements, let's stand and affirm what we know to be true. God is good, and all is well. What a wonderful morning, beyond compare. I feel God's loving presence everywhere. I am filled with joy profound in a world where many miracles abound. In the garden of my soul, I am happy, healed, and whole. I know that God is good and all is well. In the garden of my soul, I am happy, healed, and whole. I know that God is good and all is well. Please be seated. Thank you.
Good morning, Unity. It's Sunday. Yay. Welcome to Unity of Bon Air, where we live and express unconditional love and grow together in peace and prosperity. My name is Reverend Patty, and I have the joy of being the minister here. Whether this is your first time or your 100th time joining us, either in person or online, we are grateful for your presence and participation as we share this special time together. We've come together as part of love's divine purpose that calls each of us forth to celebrate the connection we all share with the holy presence within and all around us that we call God. In the spirit of community, we unfold in light and love all spiritual and religious gatherings, and all people everywhere. And we especially welcome any of you who are here for the first time. If you're in the room, please raise your hand, and our usher will bring you a welcome packet, which has a name tag on it. We invite you to fill that out and have you come into fellowship coffee, and we'll know your name then. And if you're with us online, be sure to visit our website at unitybonair.org to find all the wonderful happenings going on here. Okay, so it's the joke time, but I actually have a real story today. So I was listening to Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me yesterday on NPR, and they have a game where they read 3 things and they ask which one of those really happened. So this was just so unbelievable, I decided I had to share it. So this was the one that was true. So in Toronto, Canada, there's a police department that has its own bar, like drink bar, in the police office. This has been going on for 34 years. Well, the other day, one of the policemen had imbibed and then was out driving in the police car when he had an accident. So the police department thought, oh, maybe we shouldn't have a bar in the police department. I mean, is this just crazy or what? So now they're closing their bar after 34 years of having drinks available. So kind of nutty. Okay, so now I'm going to invite you to just take a look out the window and grab that gorgeous creation inside of yourself. And as you're ready, close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. And we're just going to give ourselves the treat of connecting with the divine presence within us. So another deep breath and exhale. And we consciously move from our busy monkey mind down into our heart center. Becoming aware of the presence of love, of the presence of peace, of unlimited joy. All these wonderful qualities that are the expressions of the divine. That is the truth of our being. We are each of these qualities in expression. Excuse me. We just allow ourselves to be awash in this love. And then we're going to create this great circle of love in here. We're just going to open our hearts and let the love in our hearts flow into the room. And our hearts are so open, it's going to receive the love circulating around. Receive the love that is simply sourcing us. And into this, we're going to bring all of those whose names are in our prayer box, all of those in our community who are continuing to heal. Captain Tom, I spoke to him, he's doing great with his new knee. And Bev is now at her daughter's house healing, and we hold her grandson Forrest also. And Judy and Ron's son Joe, and his wife and the baby that is being expected. We hold them in the divine light. We hold Thelma Smith and her family as they grieve the loss of her son. And any others who I have not named who are in the healing mode. We just see the light of Christ filling every cell in their bodies, filling their consciousness so that peace reigns, and they walk in faith and trust and strength through the process in which they are. And if you have someone in your beloved circle that you would like to include in this, you may name that name out loud or silently. And we move just beyond our beloved community now to include our world. We bring in all those that have the responsibilities of political power. And we bring their hearts into this circle of love, that they might lead with tenderness and integrity. We bring all those who are experiencing difficulties from natural disasters and all those kinds of things, from war-torn areas of our world. We just see peace reigning. It is possible that we can come together and see all our world as brothers and sisters. We bring in this circle children all over the world, our children back in our Youth and Family Center, these incredible gifts. We see their lights shining, their beings being held with such tenderness that they are encouraged to become all they were created to be. And before we close, we take a moment to sit in gratitude and just think of many of the blessings that are ours. We just let those roll across our mind and let our vibration raise as we sit in appreciation for a moment. And we close with our usual mantra of saying, I am grateful 3 times together. Please join with me. I am grateful. I am grateful. I am grateful. And so it is. And I wanted to share one priority announcement that we're having somebody new come do our service the first Sunday in August. And then she will be doing a concert at 12:15. Her name is Eileen Silver, and she's a certified beetleologist. Now, lest you think this is about bugs, no. This is about having a certification from those who know Beatle music in the UK. So plan on coming and staying for the concert. We'll have fellowship time and then coming to the concert at 12:15. But there'll be an hour break if you want to go out and grab some fast food or bring a sandwich with you. All right, now we turn it over to our statement of truth. Is that up there? Almost. There is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life. God, the omnipotent good. And then we're going to invite Claudia to give a heart share today.
Thank you. And Reverend Patty asked me if I would like to share how unity has changed my life. I said, yeah, I'd love to. And then I thought, but how am I going to squeeze this into 5 minutes? So you just set your timer on the cell phone and let me know if I overspeak. I'm going to be succinct. But to understand where I am right now, I'd like to share where I came from before. As a child, my family attended church at a Disciples of Christ church. If you're not familiar with it, I think it's kind of like a liberal Protestant kind of church. But for some reason, when I became a teenager, I got involved in Christian fundamentalism. And that turned out not to be a good experience for me. And as a result, I just didn't want to have anything to do with church at all because I felt like it was a cult. And so later on, I met a fine man. We got married. We had a baby. And I realized, yeah, Edward Hayes. I realized that I wanted my daughter to have the experience of attending a church. But the reality is every church I went into, I left depleted and depressed. And I also wanted to add that my personality, I had periodic bouts of depression anyway. So I prayed about it, and one day a friend spoke to me and she said, have you ever heard of that Unity Church? And I said, no, I haven't. And she said, you would like it. And I said, I doubt it, because, churches just are depressing to me. And she said, no, try it, you'll like it. And so 27 years ago, our family, the 3 of us, our daughter was just a toddler, baby, and we visited a Unity church, and that was Unity of Richmond. And what we experienced that day was a pivotal moment in our lives. What I heard that Sunday morning, it just blew my mind, and I knew that I had to come back to get more, but I thought, I must be going crazy, because I don't do church, right? So every Sunday, we would find that the service there was like an inspiring TED Talk, with great music. And an added benefit that is true in this room as well is that you spend your morning in a room with other curious, intelligent people, and that was comforting to know that I was not alone. in seeking a deeper understanding of what God was. So together we learned the 5 basic tenets of unity and more, much more. And every week what I did, it was like, if I heard something that sounded blasphemous or bizarre or not true, I just thought I'd experiment with it and see if it was true, if it worked for me. And what happened was amazing. And what I realized is unity is about repairing relationships, if I put it in a nutshell. Spirituality is all about relationships. So I'm going to start with my mindset at the time was that I truly believed that in life, this is how it works, there's a few lucky people floating around. Those are the people that we hate, right? The rest of us have to struggle and compete for whatever scraps of goodness, because there's not a lot of goodness out there. That was what I had believed. And now with this new teaching, this new philosophy of good is everywhere, and all of a sudden my relationships improved because I started to see things in everybody that I could learn from. If I thought someone was lucky, I'd get close to them to try and figure out what is it that's special about them that they attract so much good in their life, whatever. And I found that, it's so much better to love people and not judge people, It really is, because they love you back and your relationships get better. That's the first thing. Then there was the relationship with myself and the depression that I used to experience that was somewhat debilitating. What I've learned is that I am so much more than my feelings. I was just saying to my coach the other day, I said, I feel a little down today, but I'm not really upset because I know later on today I'm going to be laughing hysterically. I mean, emotions come and go. I am much bigger than the emotions that I experience, and who I am, what I am is bigger, way bigger than my feelings. And then the third relationship, the biggie, that I'm always still working on is my relationship with God as I understand it. God is love. God is power. God is beauty and truth. God is life and goodness. God is everything. God is here and forever will be. And my relationship continues to move with God from a state of fear and unworthiness to more of joyful awe. That's how I feel about God. It's joyful awe. And I experience it in moments with you and in moments here. So in summary, it's funny, I realized I wrote a song that really summarized some of what I've just said right here. It's called Making More Room for God. The first 2 verses. I used to see the world with a cynic's view. I thought the winning game was only relegated to the lucky few. But now I know if you choose, happiness will come to you. So I'm making more room for God. I ran around in circles, so unaware, just caught up in this mindset, struggling just to get my share. But now with eyes wide open, I see the goodness everywhere. So I'm making more room for God. Now I just want to be a little more specific to the idea of what has Unity of Bon Air done for me and how has Unity of Bon Air impacted my life. I'd say that like 25 years ago, I got a phone call from a stranger. She was a board member at Unity of Bon Air, and she asked me if I'd like to come and do music. I was a little apprehensive, but I said yes. I had no idea I was about to change my life. Back then, we didn't have a regular minister, but we always had great speakers. And soon we attracted a wonderful minister named Joyce Fisher Pierce. And she asked me to be a music director. And I remember thinking, I've never been a leader of anything in my life. I just don't even know if I have the skill set. But I said yes. That's a real important spiritual principle, is say yes sometimes. Say yes. But these are the things I've gotten from Unity of Bon Air, and I think you do too. Support. Having a spiritual family, a prayer chaplain, a minister that teaches great lessons every week, and knowing that there's a tribe of people praying for me if I'm going through trouble. Support. Number 2, growth. Because I'm employed here, I'm here every Sunday. I have to, every Sunday is an opportunity to check in. Am I angry at somebody? Am I refusing to forgive somebody? Am I harboring thoughts that aren't serving me? This is my weekly check-in here. Growth. Belonging. Number 3. everybody, I believe this, everybody needs to belong to something bigger than they are themselves, whether it be a sports team or a community of friends and acquaintances. But together, we are stronger and we can really help our community. I know that we are helping our community. And lastly, purpose. By becoming a music director here, I had to learn so many things. I became a better musician, a music teacher, a pianist, a songwriter, a recording artist. And this week it was, perfect timing. I got a check in the mail from ASCAP. There are churches around the country and around the world. There's a church in Australia that's singing my music. I have no idea how they got their hands on it. But anyway, I don't need to know. Yeah, thank you. But I guess what I wanted to say is, singing these inspirational songs, singing songs with a message, it's just so much more meaningful to me than being in a bar or singing love songs or breakup songs. This is my purpose, one of my purposes, and it's a joy to serve with you. So thank you for giving me this platform. I know why you come here if you come on a regular basis. And if you're new, if this is your first time, I look forward to getting to know you better. Thank you. Is it time for a sing-along? Okay. All right, everybody stand. Today we're going to affirm something wonderful. 1, 2, 3, 4. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my soul, I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my soul, I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. All this love inside, we can't let it shine. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Yes, indeed. Oh, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now.
Good morning. Wow, I turned my back for a minute and the place just fills up. Where'd y'all come from? My name is Susan Green. I'm your service leader this morning, and I'm happy to see you all here at Unity. I am a prayer chaplain. I'm a prayer chaplain coordinator, and I also coordinate Fellowship Coffee. So I hope you'll participate in all of those things with us this morning. If you are visiting, our prayer chaplains are identified by a purple ribbon. And what we do, if you'd like a prayer, is we remind you of all those divine qualities that Claudia mentioned. that God is and that you are. So please feel free to join a chaplain at the end of the service. Our speaker today, I'll introduce her first, is Reverend Alva Pope. And yes, Reverend Alva is a therapist by day and married to Marquise, and she is a seminary graduate, thereby Reverend Alva Pope, and I just could look at her all day and feel better. So just prepare yourself. She's going to rock your world. So when she starts talking, get that little seatbelt on and be prepared, because she's amazing. So let's welcome her. So a few announcements, or as we call them, transformational opportunities. The first one, I don't know if it'll transform you or not, but our member, Nora Vanderspool, is now Meemaw. Because last Tuesday, little Millie Leona Vanderpool was born, came into this world. I emailed Nora and welcomed her to the Grandma Club. And so we're pretty excited for Nora, who's known as Meemaw, and great aunt Myra. The Women of Unity are collecting school supplies to support an initiative from Crossover Healthcare. You can check the e-news for the supplies, as well as there's a list out at the table.
Good morning. I'm Susan Cullen, representing Crossover Healthcare Ministries, and grateful for your support of our school supply drive, and I have a list on the table for you. And secondly, if you're not a shopper, I love to shop, so I'd be happy to take your donation, do the shopping, and bring back your receipt for taxes. So thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Since the service is an hour earlier, when we have Potluck Sunday, now we can call it brunch. So next Sunday, we're having potluck brunch. So I encourage you to make something, buy something, bring something, at least bring yourselves. And after the service, we will have fun and food and fellowship. Now, if you're inclined to help us clean up afterwards, let me know. That would be awesome. And finally, mark your calendars. The 5th Sunday this month, July 30th, we have a Unity and Community meeting, and that will take place a half an hour after the service ends. So that Sunday, we're having what I'm now calling Fellowship Coffee Express. So get in there and get your coffee and something to eat and come on back to the meeting. For all of our activities that happen weekly or that are coming up special, it's in our e-news, it's on the website calendar. Sign up for the e-news, and then every Wednesday you'll know everything that's going on at Unity of Bon Air. A leaf just fell. Thank you, God. Okay, so now for the daily word. And the word of today is reflection. God, the one presence and power in the universe, the one presence and power in the universe, is expressing through all people, the natural world, and all other aspects of life. If I ever doubt the presence of God, I need only behold the world around me. The light of God is being reflected in the kind words and acts of people, in the beauty and magnificence of nature, and in life's grand rhythms and minuscule moments and movements. I, too, reflect the brilliance of God. My ideas, dreams, and all I do to make my work on the world, make my mark on the world, are just some of the ways the divine expresses uniquely as me. Living from my divinity, I bring more of God's light into the world. And these are your words as well. The passage from the scripture is 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 18. And all of us seeing the glory of the Lord as though reflected in a mirror, are being transformed into the same image from one degree of glory to another. So we have an affirmation, and I'll say it once and ask you to say it twice with me with enthusiasm. I reflect the brilliant light of God. Together? I reflect the brilliant light of God. I reflect the brilliant light of God. And so it is. And back to music.
When I was a little girl, on Sunday we would go to church, pay attention to the priest, and he would read the holy word, consecrate the holy bread. Everyone would kneel and bow. Today the only difference is everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. So when I was in Sunday school, we would learn about the time that Moses split the sea in two, and Jesus made the water wine. And I remember feeling sad that miracles don't happen still. But now I can't keep track, 'cause everything's a miracle. Oh, everything's a miracle. Everything is holy now. Sing with me. Everything is holy now. 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 Wine from water is not so small, but an even better trick is that anything is here at all. So the challenging thing becomes not to look for miracles, but finding where there isn't one. When holy water was rare at best, it barely wet my fingertips. But now I have to hold my breath. It's like I'm swimming in a sea of it. It used to be a world half there, heaven second rate, hand me down. But now I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. 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 Oh, everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Oh, everything is holy now. Everything is holy now.
Good morning. There is only one presence active in the universe and in my life, and that is God, the omnipotent good. Pray for me as I stand up here to deliver to you all what is in my head. There's a lot of stuff going on up here. When Reverend Patty asked me to speak this morning, I thought about a lot of stuff, and I was excited. And then she said, and we're working from a particular text. And I said, oh, wow. And it's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorite books. It's The Game of Life and How to Play It, written by Florence Scovel Shinn. Right? It's in the bookstore, just in case after this you want to go get it if you don't have a copy of it. Written in 1925. And the first thing she says is that most people consider life a battle. But it's not a battle, it's a game. Most people, and I'm sure that all of you, have had some battle to fight. Right? And this is going to bug me, but let me adjust it. I'm just not going to do this the whole time. It is not a battle, it is a game. And I wondered about that. I wondered about what's fun about it. Because when we think about games, we think about fun. This is something I do for leisure. And I thought about it, and then I realized that we can't talk about it being a game until we talk about it being a battle. We cannot talk about life being good until we talk about what is not so good. So one of the things that crossed my mind is that, Reverend Patty tells a joke. I'm no good at jokes. But I was searching through, doing my homework, and I saw this picture that I thought was pretty cute, so I'll share it with you guys. It was a little boy standing in front of his teacher, and there's a science teacher. And the teacher is baffled by what he has written on the board. And what he has written on the board is HIJKLMNO. And the caption is, I thought you said that the chemical makeup of water was H2O. Cute, right? That is duality. Because he says H2O, I'm just going to write it on the board. But I'm going to leave the jokes to Reverend Patty. And what I come to share today is when I thought about God, the omnipotent good, I say it every Sunday, and sometimes inwardly, sometimes outwardly, and I never take the time to stop to ask myself what it means. But how I got to unity is that because I didn't believe it was true. I did not believe that God was good. I did not believe that God was good because he was not good to me. According to what the world had told me about what life was, it was not good. Where I was born, how I was born, how I was living, how I grew up, it was just not good. It was challenging. And then when I got out into the world searching for good, it got worse. And I wondered, how is this possible? How is it possible that I'm going to get up and say, there is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life, and that's God, whom I've never seen? Come on. I want us to all be on the same page as we talk about this. I want to have an authentic conversation because as I stand up here, some of you know me well and some of you know me not at all. But after this conversation, you're going to know me pretty good. And you're going to feel like, I want you to feel like you can come and talk to me about something that we have in common. And that's the doubt that good is a thing, that good is real. Come on, because you can't tell me the truth unless you tell me the truth. But let's look at it. So there are some examples. I was like, how do I come to this place? So You know when there's this thing in traditional, because I don't know, some people started in unity, I didn't. Most people don't. Most people come and find unity. And we start somewhere traditionally that tells us something that we struggle to believe. And one of the things I struggled with and we struggle with is that when someone says, surrender your will to God. Again, I'm going to remember and remind you that I've never seen God. So what does that mean? What does it mean to surrender everything I think, everything I believe, everything I know to God? Like, are you kidding me? Like, seriously, are you kidding me? Tell that to a kid and they'll be like, I don't understand. And I'll tell you that most adults don't understand either. But think about this. If I go right, I find something, right? So I go right. What did I find? But if I go left, I find something. But what did I find? And it dawned on me as we were talking, Claudia said, running around in circles. Running around in circles. And we know that circles and cycles is a cyclical part of us. The moon, the sun, the stars. And I used to say, well, why are circles universal? Why does that matter to us? Why does it matter? And it dawned on me that this is how you figure out what good is. Stay with me for a minute. So if you go right, what you really find is left. And if you go left, what you really find is right. Come on. Because a broken clock is right at least once a day. Which means that even if you start in the wrong place, you can end up in the right place. Right? Even if you start in the wrong place, you can end up in the right place. Which makes us question, back to my question is, God is good. And good is all there is. But we struggle with that because we've been taught that evil is a thing. That evil's a thing. But what evil is like rotten fruit. It started good. Evil is like rotten fruit. It started good. But let's remember, even rotten fruit has a use. Come on. As it gets sweeter and sweeter, you can make water into wine. Come on. You can make a cobbler. You can make many things. You can make puddings as a fruit begins to ripen. So even evil things, we can find the good. People take it and make it mean what they want it to mean. When we don't get what we want, we say, no, that's just evil, and I'm not going to forgive it. But we live in a universe that's so amazing that if you go right, you'll find left. And if you go left, you'll find right. And that's the circle of life. My job in my life is to learn something new about the things I already know. To look at something that I already know and find something that I didn't know. But you can only do that if you're curious. You can only do that if you take the advice that this is not. I know a lot of you have been thinking this is a battle, but it's really a game. Right? Take a deep breath. Because we hold our breath when we're learning something that challenges us. When we're in pain, challenges us. We hold our breath. But God is good. And I struggled with that. Because it doesn't make any sense that God is good when you are born into duality. And we accept duality because we have 2 eyes and 2 ears, right? We have 2 hands and 2 feet. We accept good and bad. We accept up and down. We accept these things because this is what we're taught. And so it makes no sense when we start to say God is one power and one presence until you go back to the rotten fruit. To make it user-friendly. And so I struggled and struggled and struggled and struggled. And I said, now when I think about surrendering my will to God, for people who are trying to integrate traditional beliefs with new thought, when I think about trying to think about God and being good and surrendering my power, faith without works is dead, and you have to do in order to, and I have to be active but still, and I get confused again. Until you realize that what it means is when you surrender your will to God, who is good, you stand in the face of evil and ask one question: what is the good in this? So for anybody who's questioning, should I go right or should I go left? Should I do what I want to do, or what the scriptures say, or what the doctor says, or what anyone else says? What you have to stop and do and say is, what is the good? If we would just stop every day in our lives and ask, in the face of adversity, in the face of challenge, what is good? You will always find the unalterable truth, the part that doesn't change, which is the good. That's the part that doesn't change. But we don't do that. We get mad and we judge. We get mad and we assign meaning from a place of anger. We get upset and we say, oh, what a shame. So let me tell you how we do it. I was on Facebook and I was looking through a thread. And what the heading or the title was something like, 100-year-old man makes a record of being employed for the longest person in the world in the history of work for the longest amount of time, something like that, which was 85 years. 85 years with one company. So before I read the article, I often read the comments. And I read the comments and I thought, it's going to be very interesting what I find, because I'm very curious about it. But the comments were like, oh my God, we should be ashamed of ourselves. We have a 100-year-old person working. Oh my God, I would just rather die. Yeah, I read them and I was thinking to myself, okay. And so I read and read and read until I got tired of it. And I said, okay, well, let me read the article now. And what I read was like, okay, the man, they interviewed him. It was the Guinness Book of World Records. He had children, he had children, and he lived a wonderful life, and they talked about this article, and you can look it up and find it. But one of the things he said was, the most amazing thing of my life is this record of having worked for 85 years. My curiosity says, well, did anybody read the article? Because people are angry that he's at work. And then he says, in the article, some more information, but the additional information was, this was the second time that he beat the record, because he beat his first in 2019. He beat his first record, and we're thinking, oh, this is not good. And I thought back to the article, the person that said, I would just die, and I thought, you are going to. One way or another, but you're going to. But the thing about it is, he's lived such a great life because he wanted to. He's working because he wants to. Retirement is a story we tell ourselves. It's a good idea. But most people die after retirement when they have nothing to do because their value is diminished. Yes, people don't think about that. I'm a therapist by profession, yes. If you don't go to find something that makes you valuable, you feel diminished, unimportant, and no reason to be here, so you're not. And so I thought about how we are dual. You didn't listen to what he said or what the good that he himself shared and was in the article. We just looked for what was evil. But it's based on how the universe works. So we see, to play successfully the game of life, page 8. To play the game of life, we must train the imaging faculty. A person with an imaging faculty trained to image only good brings into his life every righteous desire of his heart. Health, wealth, love, friends, perfect self-expression, his highest ideals. But we have to get to that place where we understand good and not move from it. Listen to the scriptures. It says, be slow to anger. It doesn't mean that you won't feel anger. It means don't respond in anger. Wait for it to pass and look for the good. We have to seek the good in any situation. And that's hard to do. When there's molestation and killing and there's hurt and harm, there's theft, there's betrayal, anything. If there are 100,000 people in this room, there are 100,000 different things that we could be angry about. And yet, the gift of the universe is that we live in a vortex that if you look for the good, you'll find it. That's the vortex that we live in. That's the space that we live in. That's the universe that we live in. So the name of my talk is The Power of the One Power. And we here at Unity have the 12 powers. And the power of power is in the throat. Think about this for people who, when we do affirmations, you don't say them. And you don't say them with enthusiasm. You actually probably are limiting yourself in a universe, a vortex of good. If I can speak it, I can have it. Right? And so we say this, I am grateful. I am grateful. I am grateful, yes, to be able to say this, but it took a while. I had to unlearn a lot of things to get to a place where I would see good. Let's talk about real life, real time, affirmative action. I'm one of those kids. I'm one of those kids. I'm one of those people. I'm one of those people that if I hadn't had affirmative action, I would not have the degrees, 3 of them that I do possess. Because people don't see you. Because what? We're taught duality. If my skin is different from your skin, the color of it, even though the other 100 million things are the same, it's the same, then something must be wrong. That you must be my competition because we don't look exactly alike. And so we faction off and we do these things, but I'm one of those kids that if we hadn't had it, I wouldn't have had the opportunities that I had. But let's be clear, it was just an opportunity. I did the work. I did the work. But I believe in good so much that taking it away doesn't bother me. Because if I look for the good in it, I'm going to find it. And if you look for it, you'll find it too. We just can't spend a lot of time on a discourse that's telling us how bad it really is. Because before affirmative action, racism, sexism, none of it stopped us from prospering, period. This is why in 1925, she could write a book when women didn't have rights. Let's be clear. We always overcome, but you have to be willing to see the good. Right? So a lot of things are dual, but God is not. That's where we have to figure it out. God is not dual. He, it is only good. It is when I came to Unity that I realized that God is a mind. It is not a person. We are people, but God is a mind. God is a mind. I'll say it again. The mind, the idea, the divinity that allows us to have all other ideas. The primary, when I heard that, it was as if a chain dropped off of me. God is the idea that allows us to have all other ideas. Yes. So if that is God, then you be God. Then be that. Go right, go left, find yourself. Find the truth. Keep searching. Keep searching. Keep searching for the good because you will find it. Keep searching for the good because you will find it. Keep searching for the good because you will find it because that's all there is. Yes. Can we say yes? This says yes because the answer is yea and amen. It is. Even in the scriptures, even in churches that are broken, if you keep searching, you will find the yes. You will find the unalterable truth. But we have to seek it. And for me, this is amazing because God is always at work. But we are at work getting other people out of our head. When in fact, we need to get God in our heart and say, if there is only good, then what is it? Instead of saying no. Because you have what you say. And the limit is in what you say. The power is in what you ask. Yes. The limit is in what you say. No, I can't do it. I cannot forgive. But if you ask, can you teach me how? Freedom will come. Freedom will come. You don't have to know how. You don't have to know when. You don't have to know who. All you have to do is ask. Be curious enough to say, well, if it can happen for you, can it happen for me? Just put a question mark on everything. I didn't feel like I could, but can I? Come on, just put a question mark at the end of everything. And it changes everything. It changes you. It changes your mind. It changes your life. It changes everything. Everything. If you can find the good. One more story, and then I'm done. This morning, I was doing some more research. And I was looking for the story about the man who was turning 100. And instead, I found this story that, because divine mind can do what it want to do, even in the face of the internet, that popped up. And it was a story. I was like, well, I'm looking for something else. Come on. I don't have time to watch this video because I am a procrastinator. Yeah, that's something. God, can I do better? Yes, I'm asking the question. And it's this guy named Russell Ledet. And he was poor growing up, African American, and his mother was a CNA. Didn't know anything about going to college, had never been to college, had a trade. He said most of her life she made minimum wage. Most of his life, they would dumpster dive for food. He said, my mother did the best she could. She said, I don't know how to fill out a FAFSA, so you can go to work or go to the military, but them the only choices you have because I don't know anything about getting you into college. And he said, okay. And so he went to the military. And after he went to the military, he was getting out of the military, and the only people that would hire him was security guard. And so he went and he became a security guard. And he would go and ask all the physicians if he could shadow them. The security guards the staff would say, the residents, the chief residents, that security guards do not become doctors. And he was like, okay, that's what you say. But I'm still looking for the good in this. And so the story goes that not only did he become a doctor, but he is a PhD, an MBA, and an MD. He has 2 children, and he's 40 or so years old, and he started late. So some people, with all the good in that story, and I know some of them, will say, yeah, but how much farther could he have gone? If he had gotten the opportunity when he was supposed to have the opportunity. And what I might say is, he might have quit. Because he didn't know what he was made of. He didn't know what he could do. Because when you're 19 and 20, you don't know nothing. and you don't know what you're capable of, and you don't know what you can make it through, and you don't know how to get up in the middle of the night and study when you ain't dumpster diving. I just don't have time to eat because I'm trying to study. And I'm trying to do something with myself. He didn't know what he was made of. And so he went, what? He went right. And he found himself still because he looked for the good. He didn't worry about the people who said, I couldn't, I can't, you, this, all the limits. Because just like him, people told me I would never do what I am doing right now. Right? So we will search for the good. God, the one presence, the one power active in the universe and in your life is God, the omnipotent good, because he is the circle of life. It takes two parents to complete the circle of life. Yes, two. The duality of it, don't let that derail you, because there's still only one power, and that's the fire. Does anybody here remember this? Because when the circle is broken, the circuit is done, but it only takes one. But we can take two. Come on, baby. One more time, my daughter. Come on. And I'm grateful because now, because now she is volunteering in the kitchen and helping with morning coffee. So, come on, let's do our experiment. It only takes one to complete the circle, and if we let go, she loves this part. And this is the circle of life. So even though we live and we're introduced to life dually, there is still only one power and one presence active in the universe and in your life, and that is God, the omnipotent good. I'm done. I'm done.
That was inspiring. It's time for us to prepare for our meditation, and we'll set the mood with this song. I breathe in and know, I breathe out and let go. Here in my heart, it's the right place to start. I breathe, just breathe. I breathe, just breathe. I breathe in to be. I breathe out and see what is true, right and real. I'm alive, I am healed. I breathe, I breathe. Just breathe, just breathe. Here in this moment, I find my flow. Here in this moment, I let go. Here there's an angel leaning over it, whispering, grow, grow, grow. I breathe, just breathe. I breathe, I breathe.
As you center yourself and breathe, let go. Breath is easy. Withholding is what takes work. Release your breath, for it is easy. Relax your shoulders because it is easy. We've been holding on to that which is no longer serving. And it is now time and safe to let go. Resting in your breath, which is easy, which is automatic. Let go. Relax into the unalterable truth of who you are and find the good. Seek whatever it is that you need to know to take away the pain and the sorrow, the sadness, and let joy and love and gratitude float to the top. Duality is how we learn, but oneness is who we are. So breathe. Breathe, for it is easy to let go. Unclench your fist, unclench your teeth, unclench your toes, for it is easy. As we stop holding our breath and breathe easy and come back into this space, remember to breathe when you are awake, to breathe when you are in pain or sorrow, but to remember to ask the question, what is good? What is good? What is good? And as we come back to the room, remember to whisper kindly to yourself, I am grateful. I have done enough. I have enough. I am enough. And so it is. Namaste. I love you. Mwah.
Okay, well, I had my seatbelt buckled. I hope you had yours on. Alva always brings an amazing message that touches me down to the core of my being, so thank you so much. All right, we're ready for our ushers to come forward, and we invite you to get your tithes and offerings ready and hold them in your hand or in your consciousness as we say our blessing. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, for the joy of giving and receiving. And more music.
Look into a child's eyes. Tell me what you see. Reflections of their hopes and dreams, of what they're meant to be. We are born for greatness, born for greatness, everyday greatness, everyday greatness, born for greatness, every day, every day. There's a soul in every one of us, in every neighborhood, and I believe with all my heart, each soul is good, because we are born for greatness, born for greatness, everyday greatness. Born for greatness, born for greatness, every day, every day. That's greatness right there. And right there. Here, there, and everywhere. Isn't just the righteous stuff for all the world to see. We do great things every day, quietly, 'cause we are born for greatness, everyday greatness, born for greatness, every day, every day, every day, every day. Thank you. We are born for greatness. Woo!
Our offerings come forward and let's bless them. We are so very grateful for these gifts. We remember that the gift and the giver are one, and we send these gifts forward to expand the love and joy consciousness in this community, in Richmond, and around the world. So let us affirm together again, I am grateful 3 times. I am grateful, I am grateful, I am grateful. And so it is. Thank you all. So I'd like to invite our chaplains to stand. And just what Alva was talking about is what chaplains will do. Will help you hold the good in whatever is going on in your life. We are so grateful for them. Thank you all. And we have people to thank from those who greeted you at the door, our bookstore people, our fellowship hall people. We have Carrie and Sherry in the back, and we have this wonderful music team. Alva speaking and Susan leading the daily word. We say, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ you are, and we see you doing amazing things. Let's see, now we have some youngins outside. Let's bring them in.
Light as the light, we are walking as the light of God. As the light, 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 as the light of God.
Good morning, everyone. Today we had a mainly taughts, small class, and we learned about how God is in everything. And we played with some Play-Doh. Yeah. And just so parents know, if your child is up here, please come and grab them at the end of this service. We're going to hold them hostage. All right. And that's all? Yeah? All right, and Lotus is over here on the chair.
Okay, we ready for a blessing?
Yes.
Teachers and children, we love you.
We bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ you are, and we see you doing amazing things.
And now let's stand for our prayer for protection.
The love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. And come here. We are, God is, and all is well. And our ministry of love continues.